So have you made like a lot of friends that are on the teams and all that?
Yeah, especially for basketball, man. Basketball is like, those are my guys, bro. For example, some people may know Javon Quinley, Brandon Miller, just some other guys like that on the team. And I build relationships with them off the court. It's just so much fun, bro, because a lot of people see athletes as just athletes, you know what I'm saying? Like, they see them as robots. And at the end of the day, they're just 20-year-old kids, bro. And so I really enjoy that part of my job, is just creating those relationships with them. And then that leads to better film, you know what I'm saying? Because then they're more personal with you. They want to talk to you. And the camera just picks that stuff up naturally, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, for
love
sure.
That. Love that stuff.
What's up, guys? This is the What's Next podcast, and today we are sitting with an exciting guest, Logan Bonner. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So my name is Logan Bonner, better known as LoganBfilms on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a sports videographer. I do work currently with Alabama Athletics. I run my independent business down there at UA. And yeah, I've been doing film for about 3 years now. And just, you know what I'm saying, just working and building relationships with athletes. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
what was it that like got you into this?
So for me, when I was going into junior year of high school, I was tried out for the basketball team. Didn't get it, of course. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to get anything athletically, but I still like to be around sports, right? So for me, initially, it was, could I do journalism? Could I do a broadcast degree? And I really liked writing, but I didn't like the grind of like just having to write stories. It's like essays almost. And so my thing was to have my job didn't feel like a job, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I always saw on Instagram of like people recording and being like NFL games, filming on the sidelines. I was like, how can I get to do that? You know what I'm saying? And so did some more research, found some people on Instagram that I could hit up and just kind of watch their content. And I was probably annoying, like super annoying, because I would always hit up people and be like, yo, how did you get here? How are you filming this? You know what I'm saying? But that's just what really drew me in, was just getting close to the players. Yeah. And so, so that started junior year going into August, and then I picked up my first camera. It was a Nikon D3500, which is a very cheap camera. And so I picked that up, and man, I just went and started shooting. I started shooting Huntsville High football 2019, and created some friends, Landon Coleman, Carlos Corbin, and man, just really just got up and started shooting junior year of high school, and that's what got me into it, man. And I fell in love with it. Like, I would just travel all across the city, man. I remember just got my license that year in 2019, and got that March 2019. And I would tell my parents, like, every time I would go, and they'd be like, there's a game an hour and a half away. Can I go drive and do it? Yeah. It may not be any money involved. I just want to go do it. You know what I'm saying? So just that hustle, I just fell in love with that. And so that started in late 2019, I guess. And then I just got in contact with Huntsville High basketball. And so I really started creating content for the school. And then, of course, other people around the area picked me up and started wanting me to work for them. And so that was a lot of fun, just working with different schools, creating relationships with all sorts of students, I love that. Like, I'd go from a Huntsville High game, and then I'd go to Jemison, and then I go to a Lee, and then, kind of going around the city, and then before I know it, I'm picking up followers and getting opportunities. Yeah. So it's awesome.
Well, that's sick. When I saw, like, that you were doing this, and you were, like, making a career out of it, which is so cool, like, especially for someone your age. Yeah. But it like, I thought back, and I was like, I remember when Logan would just be obsessed with, like, all the sports that were going on. I know, bro. And, like, in middle school, you did that basketball game between me and Sean, if you remember.
I remember that, bro. I remember I was filming iPhones, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. And that's funny because, actually, I started was 2019, January 2019. I was a sophomore still, I guess, in high school. And Ashton had an Eastern League team, and I was not on the Eastern League team, which is crazy because I was going to play on that team, but I missed the sign-ins or whatever stuff. Anyways, and I was like, all right, I want to be around Ashton, and I want to go to the games, but I just didn't want to sit in the crowd. So I started filming on my phone, and literally would just walk around on the floor with my phone, filming Ashton, cut these things up with iMovie. And it is crazy to see how I was literally, like, in the crowd filming on my iPhone, and then, like, I don't know, a year later, in 2020, I was filming with, like, Ball's Life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, major organizations like that. And so that's when it really started, was filming with Ashton and just doing that stuff on the iPhone. Yeah. And it was just so much fun. Like, I loved that. And it's just really simple, just having fun, just filming.
That's how you got to start out, you know? Because if a lot of people think, oh, I can't do it until I get this really fancy equipment or all this type of stuff. You got to just go out there and make it happen. And that's what you did. And keep making it happen.
No doubt, bro. No doubt.
It's kind of like that's where the love for the, like, or the passion comes from.
The love of it.
No doubt.
you're just going to do it no matter what.
I really, I hate talking about equipment because for me, if you can have the greatest camera ever, but if you don't have that vision or the creative abilities, then people aren't going to really care. Right? Yeah, I'm going to say people aren't really going to care. And so for me, even when I was filming, and with the iPhone or whatever, right? And people could still see how much I just like doing it by just the hustle, traveling and doing all that stuff. So I loved it. I loved it. But anyways, man, so that's where it really started. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it too.
I appreciate it.
So let me ask, how did you cultivate the relationships in order for you to do this with the schools now?
Yeah. So let's see. So I'm a sophomore at Bama right now. I'll start. I say senior year of high school because when quarantine happened and stuff like that, I was really just locking in and trying to figure out how can I really grow this time even with no sports. And so I just started reaching out. For example, I would go to for media pages like Alabama, all these other schools. I could go out to the website and I could hit them up. Just look up, I don't know, Alabama Media Pass, right? And you can look up. It'll show you just a list of athletic people just up there in organizations. So for me, my number one connection was a guy named Justin Brandt, and so he got me in with the organization on Bama and their production company. And so for me, I would just reach out to random people. I had Juju Smith Schuster. I had his agent, and I was really reaching out to him. And so I did stuff with Jamal Adams, who was a safety for the Jets at the time, and Juju and James Conner. So I had some guys like that. I was senior in high school, editing for these dudes. I was 17. And so I was just just reaching out to those guys, and networking is just crazy because a lot of people think that it's just, you can only go so far with just talent, but you have to meet the right people. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I would just DMing people every day, man. It was crazy. My DMs, I'd send probably 100 DMs a day. Wow. Yeah. And I may get 5 responses, but those guys led me to opportunities. So that's what I would say. I would just reach out to random people and, find the athletes that you want to work with, and you can make it happen.
What is a game day like for you? When you're filming and doing all that, what's it look like?
So for me, at least whenever I film, for example, if I go to a Bama game, right? So I filmed the Utah State Bama game week 1. Let's say it's a 7 o'clock game. Gates open around 5. So I'm sitting there and I'm going to have to get through the media entrance at 4 o'clock. So I'm getting there 3 hours before game time, which is crazy. And you're there, it's a 90-degree day and it's just hot as hell. But anyways, I get there and I just walk in. And whenever I'm in there, I just walk around and meet the players. And so when they're warming up, about 2 hours or so before kickoff, I'm over there, I'm warming up, basically get my stuff out, making sure I can get everything dialed in. And so at the same time, a lot of people just think that pregame is just for the players, but for video guys, it's also our time to really lock in, get in the flow of the game. Because for me, if I get in and I'm off schedule, if I show up an hour late or something like that, then it really just makes me feel dang, I'm running behind. I don't really get in my best state, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But anyway, so I get there, pregame, meet with the players, talk to some coaches or whatever, and then I just kind of really am, at that point, just trying to get some shots. Really want to capture, a lot of people capture just highlights, but I like to capture the atmosphere and really try and tell stories, which is the biggest thing for me. And so if before the game, for example, if I was shooting a Bryce Young, right, and I'm all right, he's coming off a big season, how do I want to show his development as a player, as a person, whatever, and I could try and get those things, sideline moments, him talking to fans, whatever, that kind of thing. And so I'm always looking for that, especially in the pregame. So but I'll do that in the pregame, and then in-game action, man, it's just unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? You just hope that they're coming your way. But for the most part, I like to line up with the players and just be as close as possible, as personal with them as possible, without getting in their way. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be a fly on the wall, kind of. Yeah. So that's what I try to describe it as. So.
What are some of the things that you do to catch the atmosphere?
So whenever I get to a game, if it's let's say if we're in a road game, right? Let's say it's Auburn, for example. We're going to Auburn. It's a big rivalry game. I'll make sure to get there. And if there's some fans talking crazy to players, I'll get into that. I get over there, I'll get into it. You know what I'm saying? You want to capture, the essence of the story of that game, right? If it's a rivalry game, you make sure you get that. If it's a senior night, whatever, you want to capture the emotion of that. Maybe get parents, get players, crying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to get into that stuff. That's what I really would advise. So, but yeah, man, that's just thinking outside the box is the biggest thing, and that helps with not burning out also, because if I'm shooting the same stuff over and over, that gets boring very fast. And so if you're just shooting highlights, you can go anywhere and shoot highlights. But if you really want to capture big moments, you got to think outside the box. So that's definitely a couple of things I would do.
Sick. I like that.
Yeah, man.
Well, what's it like now that you're kind of at this bigger level, from where you started?
A lot of people probably don't know this, but from like 2019 until I guess probably until I went to college, I really was not making much money off this because, and a lot of it was from my wrongdoing. Like I was hitting people up and I'd go do the videos, you know what I'm saying? But these guys would almost take it as like a favor. And so once I had a talk with my dad and I was like my work is really good, but I'm not getting like the self-benefit off it. Like I'm getting the followers, I'm getting that stuff, right, which is dope. But at the end of the day, you know, that doesn't pay bills.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You are at the point where you have to put out content and you have to show what you're capable of before you get any kickback. So it's like an investment, you know? If you can get content and footage of all these, you know, really big names, people are going to be like, wow. And then you get that following, boom. Yeah. Then that's when it starts to pay off. You know, you got to think of the long term and not be like, oh, you know, I'm not really making anything right now, and then give up, because that would be the worst thing.
It is, man. There's people in my field that'll go 3 years without really making that money on it. And I've just this year been able to, you know, start my YouTube, fund my own stuff. And so that process, man, is just crazy. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is just the weight that goes into it. Because, man, like, there's a lot of times where I've been, like, putting in late nights. I'll be up to 4 a.m. working on a video. I'm like, do I really, like, is this really worth it? Like, I'm making this video for this high school. Is this really going to help me? And it has, bro. Because if I didn't do those late nights, those work on those other high schools, then I wouldn't land the jobs with the athletes I have now. Yeah. So,
and there's another thing that comes from this is, like, the consistency, getting like in the mindset of, like you said, or you mentioned it before we started filming, the flow state.
It is.
Of like, if you figure out how you can get into that and you have consistency going and jumping, it's almost like dunking your conscious in and out and having control of that.
No, for sure. You know? It is, bro. That is crazy. I remember I was watching one of the YouTubers I watched. His name is Danny Gevertz. He's very big on, he's a filmmaking creator, but he's also very big on the mental side of it. Yeah. And so he is very big on, you know, how to get in the zone, right? Everybody calls it the zone. And I was like, all right, I'm going to watch this video. And I was at a time where I was in kind of a rut. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was kind of burnt out a little bit. I was like, how am I going to get back on the track? And so I watched this video, and he's talking about how to get back in the flow state. And I was like, all right, I don't know if this is going to work. So I tried it one day. I literally put my phone on Do Not Disturb for like 8 hours. And I knocked out one of my best videos I created for Bama basketball. And it blew up, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. And so I've done that for the last couple months, man. And it's just helped my work so much. I didn't realize how much I would be, like, in the middle of a video and then, like, break my focus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so just learning how to, like, really, you know, of course meditation helps with that stuff too. But just really, just removing yourself from a lot of distractions helps a lot. So that's one of the ways.
Well, you're on the right path, sir.
Appreciate it. Sounds like it, man. I love it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, dude. This has been a great conversation. Great connection. I'm glad that I reached out. And,
I appreciate y'all, man.
And we're making this happen.
No doubt. Yeah, man. I've known this man for like 8 years, at least easy 8 years, man, and it's just a blessing, bro. I haven't talked to you. I know we haven't kept up like we wanted to, but I'm gonna make it a priority for sure, bro.
Hell yeah,
nice
me too.
Nice to meet you. You know, I've actually seen some of your content. Have you ever worked with Will Stevens?
I have, bro.
See, that's why I seen. That's why I saw your content, because he would talk about you and he would show me the videos you made for him.
Gosh,
so.
Yeah, I know we're finishing up. That's my brother, man. I gotta shout out Will Stevens, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Will is just one of the most genuine people I've ever met, bro. I love him like a brother. We've been working on stuff since like early quarantine. You know what I'm saying? And we really worked on a documentary together when he was leaving Huntsville High. He was trying to find a school for him for football. And he had a couple teams hit him up. And we were really trying to get him some offers. And so I started we just like did free work over the summer, just him working out every day. We'd film. And I created documentaries, and that helped him get a scholarship for football and stuff like that. And so now he's pursuing his own thing in music, bro. And eventually we're going to get some music videos going for that. But yeah, man, anything he does, I will support him, bro, because he's done the same for me. So, and yeah, man, I love that, man. It's awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah, bro. That's hope. So,
hell yeah. Well, again, we have enjoyed this conversation. This is the best.
Yeah, man.
So, go ahead and shout out your things, and we'll go ahead and do that.
All right, man. So, y'all can find me on Instagram and YouTube at LoganBfilms. Create content on there pretty much every week. Be working with athletes at Alabama right now. Hopefully with the NFL soon, you know what I'm saying? Just getting up in those leagues. But yeah, don't check me out. Be posting consistently. So yeah, bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well, again, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, bro. No
and you guys look forward to the new things coming from Logan.
Yeah, bro.
Lots of exciting stuff, production, and lots of sports.
A lot of sports, man. A lot of sports.
So. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Peace.